Rizzo's Knock You Out Bar. A CCN 76 milk chocolate bar with caramel and tangerine zesters.
Inspector, you find my missing man? Shit, that's fucking inconvenient. What happened? No shit. I gotta tell you, Evan's never been written up for so much as an impolite look. He attacked her? You sure? Huh. Sounds like the constable should look into this one. I'll have her bring Amelia in for questioning. Thanks for chasing Evan down and saving me some legwork. Of course, now I gotta figure out who the fuck's replacing Evan. A new day, a new pain in my ass.
Hey, that's impressive.
Can't you see my...
The brochure never mentioned.
What floor would you like next stop?
Hey, Cap. Looks like they finally sent someone to clean up Helen's mess. At least I hope that's what he's here for.
Oh, sweet gibbering law! Where'd you come from? Sorry, let me just get back in character. Whoa, 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 it's not what it looks like. Easy, friend. No need to get violent. There are as many reasons to spare my life as there are flavors in Rizzo's Spectrum vodka. I'll give you 2 reasons. First, I am a valuable asset to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Enterprise. And secondly, I'm just here doing a job for a VIP. Mascot's honor. I am acting on behalf of Mr. Black Hole Birdie, the Holmeister, the Hack Attack. I don't have a lot of time, but Mr. Birdie sent me to retrieve a message. Something he recorded for Ms. Bellamy while he was off his kilter. You found the recording? Oh, well, that's just... That's just sweeter than a fistful of purple berry punch. Oh, law, Bertie's gonna slaughter me like a woolly cow. Will you meet me later, over at the pilot house? I swear, from the bottom of my employment contract, I will tell you everything I know about Ms. Bellamy's demise. What? But I can't? Please don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I can't. Not here. I'm sorry. The pilot house complex. Meet me there, and I'll tell you everything, I swear.
There is such a thing as too clean.
I understand there was an incident at the orchards. The pollination cycle began without my authorization. Fortunately, you managed to save most of the hive. The wasp-ketos are essential to the orchards, you see. Losing them would have cost us months of production. The orchards can be a dangerous place, but my workers understand the hazards. Something about this incident troubles me. The circumstances are suspicious. But let's concentrate on the matter at hand. Have you discovered anything? You have my attention. That's deeply upsetting. Dr. Leora Blossom was an extraordinary scientist and a friend. We have a murderer on the loose, Inspector. As if the death of Halcyon Helen wasn't enough of a blow to our facility. Her commitment to her NDA was admirable. I'll make sure to accelerate the payout of her death benefits to her next of kin. Interesting. The Rizzo's family is a small family, Inspector. Most of us recognize one another. Still, any information is good information. It troubles me to believe Leora could have been murdered by one of our own. If there's anything else you'd like to share, you have my attention. Insisted? That's interesting. We'd scheduled a tour of the lab for Helen. Purely a public relations event to be held sometime in the indeterminate future. Then again, Helen and I were not well acquainted. I can't speak to her intentions. A picnic? I don't recall approving a private social gathering at the orchards. I'll have to make a note of this information. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Was there anything else? That's troubling, to say the least. Any transfer of proprietary data is strictly prohibited without my permission. Yes, I share your suspicions. Someone didn't want you following their trail. This feels like more than corporate espionage. Someone's playing with us, Inspector. And I have never in my life enjoyed games. Did you discover anything else? This incident at the orchards must be connected to Helen's murder somehow. I don't know how, but I feel it in my marrow. My apologies, Inspector. This case is under your jurisdiction, not mine. I leave it in your hands. When you're ready, I suggest a word with the hotel coroner. She should have finished her autopsy by now. Why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in your room? I'm afraid I don't understand. Is this the lead-up to a joke? I don't know why there was a mascot in your room. The Grand Colonial doesn't offer that kind of room service, I think. Such as? I most certainly did not. My policy toward Eridanos is one of, shall we say, benign negligence. I keep my distance and don't involve myself unless necessary. In any case, let me apologize for this unfortunate business. I'm sure this mascot meant no harm. Was there anything else?
Everyone all right?
Look here. I could use a new pair of glasses.
Can't imagine where you misplaced your old pair.
Don't mess with me. The architect saved
Weren't
us.
you looking for a new hat?
Indeed. And that looks just... anything else, it's good to know we can purchase a replacement here.
Hey, you look like you need some stuff. Fancy watch?
Spare cufflink? Single earring? You want it, I've got it. Junk. My friend, this is not junk. These are people's prized possessions. Priceless personal effects, beloved souvenirs and knickknacks. Huh? Oh, well, some of the guests left this stuff behind. I would certainly not admit to that even if it were true. Take a look for yourself. Me? Oh sure, terrific, never better. And as soon as I pay off my docking fines, I'll be back on my feet and in my ship. So it turns out Slug has some pretty strict rules on vehicle docking, and I may have broken a few of them. Who'd think Slug would be so strict? You sure can. Buy some of my goods, and it'll count towards paying off my docking fines. And the delinquency fees that are accruing on top of them. I knew you'd be back.
Sure he's not in the museum.
Even if he is, no one will think you dress the same as him on purpose.
I was at breakfast first. If anything, he's dressed the same as me.
But we can part your hair on the other...
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Discrepancy detected. Rizzo's company policy clearly states that all proprietary mascots must exhibit signs of physical life. Excellent observation, Inspector. Have you deduced a possible cause of death? Unusually small entry wounds indicate exotic weaponry. Closest approximations are 1. Incident involving a game of darts. 2. The Needler. Yes, Inspector. The Needler. Bespoke handgun carried and wielded by Halcyon Helen. Famously deployed by Halcyon Helen in Terror on Monarch. This weapon responsible for executing the Chief of the Savages, played by Spencer Woolridge. This unit is incapable of providing ethical advice. This unit is also incapable of answering rhetorical questions. This empty bottle of spirits does not belong to any known corporate brand. Suspicious residue detected. Excellent deduction, Inspector. Imbibing of unauthorized beverages is strictly prohibited under Rizzo's company law. Ingredients include antiseptic alcohol, sucrose, and unidentifiable miscellaneous organic material. Closest match. Counterfeit spirits available at the Piraeus spaceport.
That was quick.
Staying out of sight.
Wonder what they use this thing for.
Inspector, hope you catch that killer soon.
Hope you've been enjoying your stay.
Inspector, good to see you. Let me just grant you access and... Welcome to the Piraeus spaceport.
I don't like the way they're eyeing us, Captain.
Hey, you! We've been looking for you, and by we, I mean Slug. Been real busy sniffing around Eridanos for clues, haven't you, Inspector? See, Slug Light Underground don't like that much.
He's trying so hard. It's actually kind of sad.
Should have kept your nose where it belonged, Inspector. Slug's sick of all your meddling in their affairs. Our affairs, I mean. We're... Draw, you damn breadworm! Draw! Well, you ain't gonna stick that nose anywhere ever again. Quick, everyone! Get him!
Here they come!
Get him!
Everyone all right?
Greetings, non-criminally associated individual. The Rizzo's constabulary is currently not closed due to a sprat infestation. Bureaucratic processes are currently suspended. At present, criminal reports do not require paperwork. Please lament only in marked lamentation zones. Please speak clearly into this unit's recording instruments. Error. Unit designation no longer wine taster. Unit designation now deputy. Unit does not have a favorite wine. Unit is incapable of taste. While potential lethality of unit instrumentation bears towards 95%, violent utilization of equipment would void unit warranty. All Rizzo's constabularies must include at least one deputy constable among the pool of available Rizzo's employee candidates. This unit was considered the most competent. How may this unit... Welcome. Please speak clearly. Checking logs. Error. Limitation 1. Do not tell users about limitation. Greetings, criminal. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit. Please explicate your defense into this unit's recording equipment.
My permit wasn't expired, Scrappy. You probably just scanned it wrong.
Error. Unit's permit reading equipment was updated only last week. Please tell a different lie.
Tell a different... You're a mechanical. You ain't got the foggiest idea whether I'm telling the truth or not.
Correct. Criminal. However, Constable Keene has decreed that this unit will remain here, questioning you every minute until you submit a confession. Error. Information on recent exchange lost. No. This unit would implore you to confess to your crime of landing with an expired permit.
You know what? My permit was fake after all. Let me out of here.
Oh no.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. An aberration in the expected timeline for this organic being has occurred. Behold, the body of Maria Keene, formerly the constable of the Eridanos atmospheric complex. No signs of life detected. Maria Keene is survived by no known relatives. Excellent observation, Inspector. Multiple wounds located in the frontal bone and between the clavicles suggest she was facing away from her attacker. Furthermore, the location and circumference of exit wounds suggest a firearm with unconventional ammunition. These casings are too minuscule for conventional small-caliber firearms. Each casing resembles a lancing needle used for medical and surgical purposes. High concentration of potassium chloride detected. Trace amounts of neurotoxin detected. These substances show the highest concentration near the entry and exit wounds. Cardiac arrest, rather than physical trauma, is the most likely cause of death. Your memo has been noted. This unit has been programmed to offer encouragement during moments of emotional strain. Banter protocol activated. We'll find the sprat bastards responsible, Inspector.
Reminds me of Moreau's. Just a bit.
Hello. Welcome to Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry, the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. I'm marketeer Joseph Dempsey, here to make your shopping experience as pleasant and normal as possible. Oh, I see you've read some of my poems. Very clever, Inspector. Yes, my pen name is The Marketeer, though I also use it in certain business dealings. Wait a moment. Why do you ask? Hey now, hey, let's all be reasonable here. I'm just a middleman. None of this was my idea. Occasionally, jobs requiring discretion arrive here from the hotel. Always anonymous and always lucrative. For a sizable cut, I set these jobs up and asked no questions. Somebody sent me a note telling me they wanted you dead. I don't know who, and I don't know why. I swear. Of course. Here. Terribly sorry for all this, Inspector. I'll certainly owe you in the future. Welcome back. The Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry is...
Does Sublight Underground run this place? Looks a lot cleaner than the Groundbreaker.
You got an appointment? Appointment? Then get. No appointment? No talking to Mr. Kincannon. Not entirely out of the question. Convince me. Wouldn't mind a new bolter pistol. I've fired mine so many times, the tips nearly fell off. Let's give Mr. Kincannon a ring. Mr. Kincannon, got a person of interest here to see you. Think they've got business.
That sounds like our inspector. Please, send him up.
Why, if it isn't the inspector, I was hoping you'd swing by.
Here for my alibi, I assume. Let's see. That night, I was... torturing Elliot Nasser for information on missing cargo. That was a messy one. Didn't break until nearly noon the next day. Can you imagine? An excellent question. I had his body dropped off the edge of the land complex. I'm not sure what happened to it from there, scientifically speaking. Maybe it dissolved? Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter. You'd be a fool to believe me, regardless of what I told you. People lie, and I am, incriminatingly, people. Which, as I said, you should not trust. If it helps, however, you might consider pursuing not my means, but my motive. Why in the name of the architect would I kill Halcyon Helen? She was making me a fortune. I'm considering a line of commemorative merchandise. Still, that's nothing compared to what Helen would have made us in the long run. I'd offer to assist you in your work, but I've a mystery of my own to solve, I'm afraid. Oh, Elliot stole from me, all right. Alas, you're right in that his was a singular isolated incident, and as such, does not resolve a concerning broader trend. Items are disappearing from Slug's storage and processing warehouse. The thefts began a week before Helen's unfortunate death, and there have been more instances since. Before you ask, I know the difference between cargo going missing and cargo going missing. This is the latter. I'm not sure. I'm only confident there is one. That the thefts began mere days before Helen's untimely demise is an extraordinary coincidence. I'm not a man who believes in happenstance, Inspector. I do not trust it. I certainly wouldn't take that bet. Regardless, this will be fun. You out in the field, chasing down leads. Me, scheming in my office, preparing to unspeakably mangle the perpetrator. You do recall, Inspector. That I'm not to be trusted? But certainly, whatever you say. You'll want to speak with Ella Tinsley, the warehouse foreman. I've cleared her as a suspect myself, but should she refuse to cooperate, shoot her. No, I'm joking. If she won't cooperate, tell me and I will shoot her. And do feel free to search my office for clues while you're here. Don't hold back on my account. Was there something else you wanted to discuss? Bar fight? Drunk Raptidons? Black Hole Birdie practicing his hacking in the middle of the street? Stop me if it's one of those, or I'll just keep guessing.
Sounds as though you've already sorted it out yourself. In short, Slug has not sent anyone to rough you up, Inspector. That would be acting against our own self-interest. Now ask yourself this. Why would anyone give thugs Slug gear and send them after you? Right again, Inspector. But I can't fathom who would benefit from tarnishing my reputation like that. Can you?
You said it, not me. So, as you've deduced, I did not send anyone from Slug after you, nor is it likely they assigned themselves that task. Still, I am sorry for the trouble, Inspector. With that matter settled, is there anything else you'd like my assistance with? Constable Keene? Now that is a damn shame. Am I right to think this wasn't a workplace accident? It seems murder is becoming an unsettling trend on Eridanos as of late. Thank you for informing me of Constable Keene's passing. When you find her killer, please be certain to make them suffer. We may have been on opposite sides of the law on occasion, but we were not enemies. Perhaps it will shock you to hear her loss saddens me. Maria was a decent soul, and law knows those are in short supply around here. A little square, perhaps, in her dedication to the rules, but good nonetheless. I'm also saddened to have lost an occasional drinking buddy. She was quite good at cards, you know. Honestly, I'm not. Hand to the architect. Maria loved a 0G after work. But let's discuss something else. Do you have other matters requiring my attention? The original incident? I made him an offer he should have refused. An excellent deduction, Inspector. Our combative relationship stems from paperwork, mundanely enough. Rizzo's contracted Sublight to construct the Eridanos atmospheric complex. Had Lou wanted Rizzo's to retain full control of Eridanos, he shouldn't have skimmed the revised contract I sent him. Lou's an administrator, for law's sake. I thought he would adore all the fine print I added. Think of it this way. It was a test, and he failed. It was all perfectly legal, too, which irked Lou to no end. My power grab, as Lou called it, planted the seed of hatred. And Lou, obsessed with what should have been, has made sure to water it daily with his bitterness and anger. Alas, I can't. I am, first and foremost, the head of Slug, and it simply wouldn't be good for business. Slug's control of Eridanos is a crucial step in my long-term plans for Sublight. The board needs to see irrefutable proof we are a respectable, legitimate business. Oh, that does sound fun, though. Is securing a board seat for Sublight evil enough? Surely we can at least agree that it's grand? Meanwhile, our dear administrator is still laser-focused on old slights, which can be a nuisance. He's grown increasingly desperate to catch Slug with our hand in the proverbial cookie jar as of late, convinced we're involved in less than legal business opportunities. Not in front of witnesses, I didn't. Very well. A few, Helen was strangely curious about the private business operations around Eridanos. She said it was role research, but how much business know-how does one actor truly need for an action picture? I also arranged to have Helen supplied with mag picks, bypass shunts, and other hacking tools. She wanted to buy in bulk. That she bought in bulk? Not particularly. It takes time to learn to use tools like that deftly. I wonder, did she run out of time in the end? That is the question, isn't it, Inspector? Tell me, do you really believe Helen's death was a mere crime of passion? Or one of petty career jealousy? A smart approach, Inspector. And yet, this murder is bigger than Miss Helen's personal life. Bigger than her latest moving picture. Indeed. I suspect Helen arrived on Eridanos with grander plans than promoting Spectrum Brown. I knew I was right about you being clever, Inspector. I'm glad. Because whoever did kill Helen is not going to come forward so easily. I just might. Your point, Inspector? Am I an official suspect, then? Intriguing. I'll look forward to how it all plays out. Be very careful, Inspector. I'd very much like to see you still around for the grand finale, whenever it comes, whatever shape it takes. One moment, if you please, Inspector. I've answered your questions. I believe it's my turn to ask you a question now. What, or who, made you decide to investigate me? Understandable. A man of my standing would naturally be tied up in all this, whether he wishes to be or not. Now then, did you need anything else?
Discrepancy detected nearby. This copy of TK contains 142 fewer pages than a standard copy. The missing pages were likely removed to create sufficient space for the hidden listening device inside.
You figured that out just by looking at it? Huh. We ought to talk shop one of these days.
Inspector, please consider speaking into the device in order to trace the transmission and reveal the receiver's location. Ominous threat transmitted. Transmission analysis complete. While the precise location of the receiver could not be pinpointed, it has been narrowed down to a smaller, approximate range. Analysis inconclusive. However, there is a minor accumulation of dust particles present on the book's uppermost surface. 98.3% of the dust particles are less than 500 micrometers in diameter. This unit is glad to have been of service. The area within a 0.5-meter radius of the book possesses a dust coating comprised of at least twice the number of particles. That is highly likely, Inspector.
What's that you found? No, wait, don't tell me. Let's save it for the big reveal once you've solved the case.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. A cursory fingerprint analysis shows this display case was recently opened or closed. The fingerprints belong to Cedric Kincannon. Confirmed. The grip has been modified for a specific wielder, most likely the rifle's owner. Additionally, the plasma rifle sights appear to have been realigned to better accommodate a shooter with slight myopia in one eye.
Oh, admiring my rifle. Had it custom fitted by a woman on Monarch. Inspector.
To what do I owe the...
Glad my box hauling days are over.
Hi there. Sorry, this area is off limits to port vision. Oh, wait half a second. You're the inspector. Sorry about that. I'll buzz you right in. Feel free to have a look around, sir.
Hey, you think they keep any spare parts down here? Just wondering.
Hey there, little buddy. Isn't she just the cutest?
I didn't even know they made Raptidon erotica. Wait.
You're the inspector, aren't you? Boss Kincannon said you'd be by about the cargo that's been going missing. Gosh, this is so neat. A real-life inspector. What's that like? Have you solved any mysteries yet? Ever had to shoot a suspect? Perps! Just like a real inspector. Right, so the missing cargo. How can I help your investigation? Everyone here at Freight Storage and Processing, for a start. Thing is, the cargo is going missing before the shipments even get to the warehouse. Best I can figure, it's probably getting lost in the shipping yard. As for who has access there, Benton Chan, he's the shipping yard manager, he told me it's mainly just the loading automechs that handle cargo. Nah, Benton's too lazy for crime. The extra work would kill him. Last time I asked him to check the automechs, the whole head told me he couldn't help because he was dead. It won't bother him any if you have a look yourself, though. Hopefully, you're mechanically inclined. That's the weird part. There's no pattern, far as I can tell. The thefts don't make sense. I ask you, who would steal a handful of Spacer's Choice Sabers, so dull they can barely cut mud, but leave the spectrum black? Ugh. Who'd be desperate enough to want to steal a Spacer's Choice Saber, full stop? Even to an inspector? Gosh, that must make your job awfully tough. Then there's the most recent theft, 5 boxes of pens and a couple of sodas. I can't decide which one's sadder. Wow, I guess you take this stuff pretty personally, being an inspector and all. Oh, before I forget, I figured you might want to access my terminal, so I had a spare keycard made. It's all yours. Oh no. I forgot to delete all of those incriminating messages I sent about which cargo to steal. Nah, I do have a list of cargo that's gone missing, though, if that helps any. Great work.
Taking a break? Don't let the boss catch you.
I think I prefer the rest and go.
Hey, I saw your ship. The Unreliable, right? It's a real beauty. Hey there. Word around the spaceport is that you came in on the Unreliable. You a new crewmate? Cut the shit. I know Hawthorne's captain of that ship, and I know you ain't him. You want to try again? I see. Well, this would have been easier with Hawthorne, but I hope that if you're flying his ship, it means you're a freelancer too. Wonder if you can help me. I run an outfit for the moving of, less than legal goods. There's a particular piece of cargo needs delivering to a particular individual in the spaceport. Thing is, I don't know where the cargo is right now. The crewmate who handles that is in the clink for getting a little too disorderly in town. We've already attracted too much attention. Too risky to visit her myself. That's where you come in. You help us out, I'll give you an equal cut of our pay. Great to hear. First, you need to go meet the crewmate who got herself jailed. Cassidy Mills is the name. She'll know where the cargo is. Oh, yeah, right. We have a secret phrase. I like boneless spratwurst. Say that and she'll know you're a friend. Well, I did, of course. I'm something of a savant when it comes to secret codes, if I do say so myself. Be seeing ya. Remember, Cassidy's at the constabulary. She might be a little wary, so be careful.
Haven't seen you around before, but that ain't no problem. All are welcome at the Copper Bottom Cantina, so long as their bits are good, huh? Can I get you something? Yeah, so you noticed that I'm a little off kilter, huh? Damn if it ain't been a while. I'm too old to run around anymore, but in my heyday, I used to play for the Rangers. Position? I don't know. Got hit in the melon a lot, so I ain't the best in the memory department. Actually happened so often it became a specialty of mine.
Wait, you're Ernest the Bean Padilla? Led the league in hit by serves 2 years in a row? You're a legend, sir. It's an honor.
A legend? Oh, I don't know about that one, kid. But I'm glad folks still remember the history of the game. Folks started competing to see how many times they could hit me in a match. Called it quits not long after that. Ain't safe to take that many blows to the head. I came out to coach the Rangers during training camp, but after a while I had trouble remembering which player was which. Slug lets me bartend instead of recommending me for early retirement, for which I'm most grateful. I'd hate lying around like a deadbeat. Absolutely. I know things can get rough, but I've had a more decent life than I've had any right to. Thanks for reliving the old days with me. Anyhow, I think I've talked plenty now. Is there something I can get you? Nah. No, but some folks have been saying there was some kind of fight between a mechanical and some spacers last night. I didn't see it myself, and seems far-fetched. Deputy Wine Taster ain't exactly prone to wandering, nor are most other mechanicals that I'm aware of. There's a new Void Dan burn on my nice clean floor, but I think it's the doing of one of my customers.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Transmission endpoint discovered. The receiver in this book matches the transmitter to the listening device found in Cedric's office. It's somewhat grime-covered. Due to the high level of foot traffic in this area, this unit is unable to determine who placed the device. Based on the accumulated mix of sludge and detritus, the receiver has been present since approximately a week before Helen's death. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Inspector, this loading automechanical's programming does not match factory default settings. The standard defensive protocol has been modified to include an additional trigger. There is a directive in place to initiate defensive protocol should an unsanctioned data log installed in this automechanical be removed. Slug automechanical maintenance records indicate this particular unit is frequently reported as out of position or missing for periods of time. For Type K-19 cargo transport automechanicals, defensive protocol is triggered by attempted interference with cargo, or its transportation, or attempted destruction of the unit. Once triggered, defensive protocol targets the perpetrator and applies lethal force until the target has been deceased for a minimum of 3 minutes.
Loading automechanical unit K-14 is fully operational at 99% power. Please designate the cargo to be transported and its destination. How can this automechanical assist you? Access panel is open. Please be sure to close the access panel when you are done. Ejecting data log 17C. Alert. Failsafe protocol triggered. Kill mode initiated. Preparing to end user. Understood. This unit is programmed to facilitate user queries. Kill mode pause. User termination to follow. The ejected data log contains instructions to move cargo shipment 6, 8, 7, 5 outside the boundaries of the shipping yard. It also contains instructions to move randomized cargo shipments outside the boundaries of the shipping yard at intervals of 1 to 4 days. Apologies. This unit does not have access to cargo inventory lists. Kill mode re-engaged. Have a...
Here they come!
Inspector.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Ooh, I love this part. The big reveal. So tell me, what happened? What makes you say that? Damn, you're good. Hacking the Automex. So that was our skimmer's game. But why? Everything that was stolen has seemed random. I certainly see no pattern. A cover-up. I see. The random theft was a smokescreen to hide what the culprit really wanted. I must say, Inspector, you've done excellent work on this case. Then that just leaves how the culprit knew where their true target would be, or indeed, that Slug would soon possess it. Okay, that's very impressive. Don't ever touch me again. Am I right to think what you found in my office earlier was the other half of this listening device? She, Inspector. She could hear everything. The bug belongs to me, Inspector. I lent it to Halcyon Helen to assist her with role research. Yes, I do realize that. Thank you. You'll recall the thefts began in the week leading up to her death. Plenty of time to hack an automechanical and program it to steal. She must have died before she could turn it off. Unbelievable. I helped her. Gave her whatever she needed. I thought we were doing each other a good turn. This is a betrayal, Inspector. I do not take betrayal lightly. Helen should consider herself very lucky indeed that she is already among the dead, and that some other bastard beat me to putting her in the ground. Yes, I suppose we have. There is, however, a slight chronological incongruency to it. I now have a motive to kill Halcyon Helen, but Halcyon Helen is already dead. If I'd known Helen was stealing from me, I may very well have killed her, or had her killed. Alas, I did not. Oh, that is good, Inspector. Now you are thinking in the manner you must if you intend to get to the bottom of this mess. I wish you luck with your investigation, though I doubt you'll need it. You'll find Helen's murderer. I'm confident of that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must find a way to excise my anger that minimally damages my business empire. I expect it will involve shooting quite a lot of guns.
This port seems real busy. I wonder if they're trying to compete with the Groundbreaker.
What do you want? Boss, it's Birdie Holcomb. Black Hole Birdie. The Holmeister? The Hack Attack.
Shh, not so loud. How'd you know it was me? Yeah, that makes sense. You must be a good one to sniff me out. I'm in no mood to sign autographs, and I hate disappointing fans. So I'm lying low. You know, incompleto. Oh, yeah, I guess it's kinda neato. Oh, what's it matter? Helen's gone. She's gone and nothing I do will bring her back. I've been trying to find who did this. That's what she would do. Track down the killer and bring them to justice. But I'm stumped. And not very clever. Being bright was always Helen's thing.
Oh, come on, Birdie. You're plenty sharp. Anybody who says otherwise is a Cleo Darlings fan.
Oh, so you're the inspector. Hope you have more luck figuring things out than me. You probably want to ask me some questions, huh? I'm sure you're asking everybody questions, so you can find Helen's killer. So, how do I help? I was getting blotto with the rest of the Rangers. You know, soaked, muddled, preserved.
Preserved? Oh, right. Yeah, he was drunk.
The team noticed I was in a bad way when I got back to the hotel. When I told them Helen and I were Splitsville, they wanted to cheer me up. We were up the pole afore evening. The hotel staff said we was bothering the other guests on account of all the crying and yelling and practice body tackling. Zeke said we should move elsewhere, get some air. We ended up at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. I think somebody wanted to pet a woolly cow? There was this one cow off away from the others. Zeke figured it'd be a laugh to get her drunk. One thing led to another, and I think we might have maybe, you know, stolen her. I don't know. We were drunk, and we made bad choices. She was all alone. I know how that feels now. It's so hard to be all by your lonesome. My memory's a little muddled after that. I guess me and the team got split up, because I know I was on my own at the pilot house for a time. I reckon not. See, I went to the weather station. I was looking for where Helen stashed her datapad for safekeeping, right? She'd asked me to get it, mind. I wasn't stealing. I'm no thief. I don't know. I didn't ask. On account of she asked me in a note sent to my hotel room. Paper usually ain't too chatty. That's a joke. Helen thought I was funny. I found the data pad at the weather station, like Helen said, but then a guard found me. She started yelling about how I was trespassing and in serious trouble. Thing is, it was real dark out there. So dark, she couldn't tell who I was. Real sure. It was dark as night gets. Plus, I've got small veins. Anyway, I didn't much feel like trying to explain why I was out there, or why I was drunk, and holding someone else's datapad, and also maybe crying a little, so I booked it. Ran like the Rangers were down by 3, and I just bronzed the toss ball in the Friday zone. Yeah, I mean, no. Nope. No one else. Can we pretend I didn't mention that? I don't want to tell you. I'll get in trouble.
Good one, Captain. Oh, you're serious? You want me to be the bad inspector? Are you sure? Oh! Oh, you mean like an Against the Outlaw Kings? There's this scene where Agent Khan grabs a fella by the collar and really gives him what for.
Oh, yeah! That's a pretty intense scene.
All right, you can do this, Parvati. Just do what Agent Khan would do. Now you listen here, Birdie. You've been giving us the runabout and I don't much appreciate it. Miss Helen's killer is still out there and we got every intention of hunting him down.
Whoa, you're not going to do the part where Agent Khan pulls a pistol on the suspect, right?
You'd best tell us what you know. Because if any more innocent people die, that's gonna be on you. You understand me?
Wait, more folks could die? You're joking. Law, I had no idea this was so big.
Was that too much?
It's a matter of other folks' lives, then. Look, I talked to Auric, okay? Auric West. Hangs out around the spaceport. He's the one who taught me the breathing exercises I use to calm down. Confidant is like confidence. What's torrid mean? Don't get the wrong idea, okay? Auric's not a bad guy. He's just got an unusual job. So now you have the whole story. After I talked to Auric, I went back to the hotel. Woke up the next morning with Helen's data pad in my hand and the hangover to end all hangovers. Don't know if I'll ever drink again. Oh, yeah, you'll probably want to... Yeah, of course. Of course. Helen sure did have the prettiest handwriting. Sorry. Here you go, Inspector. Hopefully they make more sense to you. I couldn't make heads or tails of them. Either she was writing in code or I'm dumber than a bag of hammers. I tried for hours to crack her notes, but it's like I said. Being bright was Helen's thing. Okay. And listen, I want to help you find her killer, Inspector. I knew Helen better than anybody. And it could be handy to have a guy like me around, in case anybody gives you trouble. I get it. I'll head back to the Grand Colonial then. Unless you need me for anything else?
Bertie Holcomb couldn't have killed Miss Helen, right? I just don't know if I can believe it. He's got a good heart. He sounded like he was real fond of Miss Helen. I just can't see him hurting her like that. Poor guy. I can't imagine what he's going through right now. Oh boy, I used to get that question back in the Vale. I'll tell you what I told everybody else. Black Hole Bertie Holcomb and I are not related. Probably. Breathtaking. Have you looked over the edge of the complex yet? Just watch the clouds turning? It's like an ocean without end. Eridanos and Olympus are the two biggest planets in Halcyon. King and Queen of the sky. Looking out to the horizon, I get this feeling that we're in the company of royalty. Eridanos is 100 times the mass of Terra 2, 800 times the volume, 10 times the diameter. We're flying through the tiniest layer of habitable atmosphere. Sometimes I can't believe how small my world used to be. My horizons were about as wide as the walls of Edgewater. Yeah. We've come a long way. Yeah?
Black Hole Bertie, murderer of Halcyon Helen? That sounds even crazier out loud than it does in my head. This don't look good for Bertie. He's got a temper. He tore up a picnic, and he got so drunk on the night of the murder that he ain't even sure what he did. And after Helen died, he went into hiding? I hate to say this about the hack attack, but I think he might be the killer.
Hey, pal. Over here. Hey there. You looking to unwind, friend? Maybe you're on your way to the bar for a good time? Maybe you're interested in something a little better than beer or Adreno? Something with a little more kick? The name's Auric. I deal in, shall we say, holistic pharmaceuticals, natural substances and the like. You know, alternative stuff. I know. Ooh, it came out of the ground. That's where worms live. I get it. I do. Why go for that homegrown shit when you could be pumping your body full of effort accelerators? Says it right on the Anti-Cleo's box. Better than nature, right? Well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, pal. Those pharmaceuticals the corporations manufacture, not all of them are as good for you as the board wants you to believe. Alternatives. That's the way to go, pal. Trust me. No matter what ails you, I got what you need. Wait, you ain't a sheriff, right? You gotta tell me if you're a sheriff. I'll be honest, I don't really know where that puts us. All right, fine. Yeah, I know Birdie. So what? Yeah, that was me. Birdie's got a temper, but he's not a bad kid, you know? He's trying to work on it. Yeah. Damn shame about that. Birdie thought the world of Helen, you know. He showed up drunk at my place wanting to talk about the breakup. Helen dumped him, he said. Boy, was he in a bad way. I'd never seen him like that before. We talked for a while, and when he felt better, I sent him back to the hotel. Told him to drink more water and get some sleep. He may or may not buy alternatives from me from time to time. A little diluted mantis or essence here, a little vitamin B negative there. Nah. What Birdie's got is a stress problem. He's stressed out of his mind, the poor guy. Everyone knows his name. Can't turn around without having to sign an autograph. Then you throw in playing tossed ball for a living. Violence like that, it does things to a body. It does things to the head. Come on. Birdie's a damn good hacker, but taking that many blows to the noggin would scramble anyone's upstairs business. I know it's knocked a few of his memories loose. I worry about him, that's all. He's a good kid. Got a good heart.
Don't think I know you. What do you want? Yep, that sure is the passphrase, even if it is dumb as hell. What's Dash's plan? Because I'm gonna tell you where our package is, hullhead. If I were part of an ambush, you'd have already been arrested. We're in the constabulary, for law's sake. You're looking for cargo from our ship, the Rat King. Small package, wrapped in brown paper. It got moved to the shipping yard, but I'm not completely sure where. I'm sure some sluggite knows how to find it, or has it listed in a terminal. All else fails, you could just case the joint. Might end up with some extra loot for your troubles.
Great work. Deft hands, Cap.
You're back, I see. Hope the law hasn't caught on to what you're doing. Law meaning authorities, that is, not the forces running the universe. No complications? Grand. The recipient is Joseph Dempsey. He runs the Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry.
Welcome back. The Eridanos Dry Goods and Sundry is just as standard and unremarkable as when you left it. A shipment, you say? The only shipment I'm expecting is 100 pounds of salt tuna a week from now. And I certainly don't expect it to be brought by an inspector. Is that supposed to be some kind of code phrase? It has no nuance, no subtlety. Sticks out like a bent nail. A constable could detect that from the other side of Eridanos. I learn about secret codes in my off time, for fun. It's never anything that I actually need to use, mind. An independent, huh? Be a big risk letting you into my sanctum. Though if you're telling the truth, I think it'd be more than worth it. All right. Follow me to the back. All right. So, as you can see, this actually ain't the most standard and unremarkable general store this side of Halcyon. Welcome to my black market. Whatever you're here for, weapons, information, contraband, cane and ointment, I've got it. Sorry for the frosty reception. Had to make sure you weren't with the constable. But seeing how you're a freelancer, I hope I ain't got nothing to worry about. Regular wares? Sure. Currently waiting on my next black market shipment, so come back in a bit if you want to see those. Let me take that package off your hands, whatever the case. Here's your pay. Good doing business with you, especially seeing how you didn't take this to the constable. Would have been a mighty pain in my tail end. See? No. But I might tell you what's in it, so long as it's nothing proprietary, volatile, or breathing. Let's have a little look. Contraband weapon parts, a few chemicals for the crafting of high explosives. All fairly standard. Oh, and a canister of trimethyl sulfoxide. Where dimethyl sulfoxide is good at keeping folks in stasis, trimethyl sulfoxide is nice for helping refrigerators run. Useful stuff.
Hope the job's coming along well. No sign of the constable, which really makes me more... Excellent. Let's divvy up the payment 3 ways and we can consider this matter settled. Thank the law. Should be just enough to get Cass out of her damn cell. I guess breaking even is better than leaving with your partner in the clink. You might not be Hawthorne, but you can sure resolve a problem like he could. Maybe better. Thanks again for all your help.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This is a bottle of unreleased Rizzo's product. Helen appears to have attempted to use it to spell something as she expired, but all she managed was a sticky bee. This hypothesis is plausible, but requires additional information.
I was wondering about that. Before we arrived, I heard something on the aether waves about Black Hole Birdie taken up at the Grand Colonial.
Correct. Bertie Black Hole Holcomb is a registered guest at the Grand Colonial Hotel. Accessing guest database B. The Grand Colonial Hotel is proud to serve the following VIPs. Bertie, Black Hole. Burbage 3001. This evidence has been recorded for later reference. Now generating pre-approved compliment. Splendid work, Inspector.
going to wash my hands, I swear. I can't believe Helen's gone. We're never going to get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
Inspector, not a moment too soon. I've just finished my autopsy report. Oh, don't be so squeamish. You won't find any viscera under my fingernails. I trimmed them just this morning. Ruth Bellamy was killed by plasma damage to the upper vertebrae, the occipital bone, and the cerebellum. If it's any consolation, her death was instantaneous and painless. I've also discovered a poisonous compound in Miss Bellamy's stomach lining ingested during her last meal. Toxic, but not enough to kill her. Spencer Woolrich complained of a stomach ailment around the same time period. I assumed he was being, Spencer. But now I'm not so sure. Oh, most certainly. Well, possibly they were trying to make her extremely uncomfortable, but I suppose killing her would also satisfy that criterion. Conversations with Mr. Woolrich tend to spontaneously transform into monologues. You'll find him on the VIP guest floor. I'd best return to work, Inspector. Autopsies always whet my appetite, and all this talk of food is distracting me.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector? Oh, my. Well, that is certainly odd and alarmingly unacceptable. Allow me to check the service records. Ah, yes. Not to worry, Inspector. It was indeed cleaned for you. Except for the evidence, which is all of Helen's stuff. I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it. That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please.
Finally checked in, I see. I hope you're fond of the penthouse. It's pretty much the best seat in the whole hotel. You shouldn't want for any amenity you might find elsewhere. Should act as a better headquarters for the investigation than any space dust covered ship. That and you ain't got room service on a ship. You ever need anything, come find me. Even if you don't, you can still swing by. I'm always happy to chat. What? Oh, Laws, you didn't find my story, did you? Sakes alive, that's embarrassing as all hell. I guess I should have hid it better. Well, since there's no way to put the leather boa back in the skinning machine, I might as well ask. What did you think? And my old man said I never amount to anything. Move over, board announcement writer 256. Norville's coming for your job. Now, what can I lend a hand with? Oh, of course. That is, maybe not on a personal level, but I'm one of her biggest fans. Even started an association of like-minded individuals. I'd lament not having anything to meet about anymore, but the newer tribe just ain't done it for us. Still, there goes my hopes of a Terror on Monarch reunion episode.
What floor would you like to visit? If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
You hear about that stunt with the woolly cows? That was great, wasn't it?
I wish I could do that. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Initiating banter protocol. Now simulating familiar and welcoming demeanor. Burbage 3001 is trained to recognize all board-approved actors. Greetings, fellow star. Your performance in Maverick Johnston's latest drama was memorable. Burbage 3001 is impressed by your performance. My goodness, what emotion. Has your employer considered transferring you to your company's entertainment department? Banter protocol exhausted. Reverting to default behavior. Grieving and despair. Oh, Halcyon Helen. May your atoms be commended to the aether. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Discrepancy detected. This bottle, recently discarded, contains residue from foreign substances. Chemical analysis complete. This unit has detected the following substances: oil, terrorray, blood, terrorray, unidentifiable biological fluids, terrorray. Yes, Inspector. Logical analysis indicates these substances were not present in the bottle's original contents. These substances cause extreme gastrointestinal distress in humans. Large doses can be fatal. This bottle contained Rizzo's Spectrum vodka. The presence of terrorray biological fluids may have significantly improved its flavor.
Not a peep from you.
About time you arrived. I see you haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsing. Ready? You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. You cannot hope to stop me from installing philosophism as the system's reigning ideology. How does the scenery taste? Good, I trust? Wait a moment. You're not wearing a bellhop's ID. which must mean you're not Owen's understudy. That man can't even be relied upon to find his own replacement. Oh, no, this is curious indeed. Who are you, and how did you get in here? You're here to investigate me? Oh, I assure you, I'm nothing special. Just an old crook with more money than time. That was a quote from The Retiree's Revenge, in which I played an ex-thief turned decrepit old man. But, of course, I'm certain you already recognized it. Now, what shall I sign first? Your weapon? Your wallet? Or perhaps something a little more personal? Undergarment signatures have been popular of late, or so I've heard. Do you mean to say you're not a fan? Well, then how did you get in here? The only staffer cleared for guest room entry is the inspector for Bellamy's murder. Oh. Oh! Hello. Hi. Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in The Marauder's Bane. The absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer. I'm sure you're joking. Perhaps I'm not in my prime, but you've no doubt seen the name Spencer Woolrich on many a serial advertisement throughout your travels. That can't be. You must just not remember. Or perhaps you only recognize my characters, not my name. Did you ever see me in The Masked Marketeer? The Busker of Byzantium? What about episodes 13 and 190 of Princess of Hephaestus? And who could forget From Halcyon with Love? I was great in that movie. Even if I was starring beside a 2-ton bucket of bolts and a woman with no talent. I think that's a bit of a stretch, don't you? If you're going to come after me, I expect evidence, unless you want to be smacked with litigation. Smacked! Indeed. The agonizing bowel pain was most undignifying. While I've certainly had no shortage of inadequate hotel meals, this was most explicitly pronounced. I suspect poison. And who would be most likely to poison me but Chef Anwar? Oh, we've clashed almost non-stop about his slop preparation. He must have tainted my meal in retaliation. How alarming! Whoever targeted her was certainly targeting me. I can only thank my ironclad constitution that I'm standing here before you. Oh, that's very good to know. Perhaps the poisoner simply meant to incapacitate us both, disrupt the product launch. I couldn't say, Inspector. I'm merely an actor. Is that a jibe? Could you imagine the tabloid headlines? Spencer Woolrich, Aetherwave star, spotted in gastronomic distress. Oh, unseemly hardly describes the half of it. None that I can think of. I treat all hotel staff equally, and with the minimum level of respect that they deserve. Very well, then. Oh, have you now? Please do go on. Don't leave me in suspense. Yes. I distinctly recall ordering an alcoholic beverage with my meal. This hotel is certainly bringing a new meaning to the phrase rotgut. Management shall receive the complaint to end all complaints. I'm quite used to being breathlessly watched. Oh, must I relive that ghastly event again? My intestines still have yet to fully recover. But I suppose we may discuss it further. Very well, then. Certainly. But one quick question before we begin, if I may. How was it that Bellamy met her end? Why, I'm merely worried for my own sake. Perhaps whoever came after her could come after me next. But if you don't want to tell me, I understand. Whatever happened, I hope poor Bellamy didn't suffer. Oh, come now, Inspector. What do you take me for? I'm an old man. I neither have the time nor the willpower to kill people for fun. Besides, I have my reputation to think of. Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way, unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's Meteoroids. I'll ask you this. If you'd been the star of cinema for years, then suddenly found yourself scrounging for bit parts while a younger person stole the limelight, how would you feel? In short, the two of us weren't close. But that's not to say my dislike of her was so extreme that I tried to do anything drastic. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me. I was meditating, of course. That's how I get into character. Respectfully, Inspector, it is rather counterproductive to commune with others while meditating. All actors have their methods, and this has been mine ever since I met that wonderful prophet of profitability. She taught me it for my role in The Unemployed Cometh. I had to lie face down on artificially heated pavement. The director wanted our suffering to be convincing. Needless to say, being able to leave my body helped to mitigate the pain, both during the 8-hour shoot and with the second-degree burns afterwards. I owe that woman much. Yeah, actually, only since I've been at the Colonial. The Unemployed Cometh was shot on site. That makes it, a few weeks. I cannot recommend her services enough. If you haven't been to see her yet, you really should. I'll answer. I suppose that is enough.
Zeke Hannigan, Rizzo's Rangers 16th back. Pleased to meet you. What can I do for you? Oh, you must be that inspector people have been talking about. It's a damn shame about Miss Helen. She was always real good to me and the rest of the Rangers. Birdie's taking it pretty hard. Miss Helen was the love of his life. So, what did you want to know? I'm ashamed to admit it, but me and a couple of the other Rangers spent the night in Constable Keen's cells down at the spaceport. We didn't do anything serious, just a bit of pranks and vandalism. It's what usually happens when we all get to drinking. Guess Constable Keen saw things a bit differently and had us hauled off. No, we lost him somewhere along the way. Or maybe he managed to get away? I can't rightly remember. But he was definitely not sharing a cell with us. That much I know. Oh, Brady was mad about Helen. He was certifiable. The big galoot loved Helen about as much as he loved the game. Trouble is, Birdie was not blessed with an abundance of temper. Helen kept Birdie steady. If he lost his temper around her, it'd be because something broke between the two of them. What? Law, no. Bertie's got a fierce temper, but there's no way he'd ever have laid a finger on Miss Helen. Miss Helen was outspoken. She made her share of enemies on account of her expressing herself. Just between you and me, I heard rumors the Prophet never much cared for Helen's brand of blunt honesty. What can I do for you?
We're all seeing that woolly cow, right? Not just me? Okay, good.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Multiple discrepancies detected. First discrepancy. A woolly cow is present in this hotel room. Woolly cows are an import species for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve and are incapable of affording upper-class accommodations. Second discrepancy. This woolly cow is dangerously inebriated with Rizzo Spectrum vodka. Alcohol sanguinization ratio exceeds recommended maximum. A brief survey of this area reveals that the most recent occupants were athletes belonging to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Club. Insufficient data. A brief survey of localized property damage, divided by the area of this room, yields the following estimate. This unit was likely occupied by every member of the Rizzo's Rangers. -1.
What floor would you like to the lobby?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis of this stovetop reveals an alarming degree of grease buildup, approximating proximity to volatile gases and chemicals. Chances of an explosive combustion upon next use currently at 92.9%. Searching slug work logs. No work log found, creating conjecture. Slug has likely not fixed this issue due to a lack of responsibility on the part of their employees. Most corporations have regular cleaning procedures to prevent damage to company property. Slug, already unlike most corporations in a variety of ways, does not. That or the employees tasked with inspecting are shirking their duties. For shame.
Yes? Are you here for the double rack of smoked sprat? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you'll have to wait. Oh, don't give me that look. Let me see if I can pencil you in for later. Actually, what am I saying? I can't do that. I'm booked for the next month. You'll have to make a reservation. Crime or no crime, I must keep my head on my work. One does not simply become the head chef in all of Eridanos by fretting over irrelevant happenings. You're the inspector? Here? Why... I mean... You may ask me whatever you want. I have nothing to hide. Of course I did. I would never allow anyone else to touch the meals of so important a guest. Well, yes, I'm positive. Why? How? Oh, fine. There may have been times I left Helen's meal unsupervised. Spencer Woolrich and Bellhop Owens were underfoot in the kitchen as I was preparing Helen's meal. Either one of them could have tampered with the food when I was fetching ingredients. Well, it's a breach of professionalism, of course. Why else would I worry about it? Well, I suppose that's as good a point as any I've heard. I may have taken some time to engage in a teensy bit of recreational drinking, and consequently, I may have been somewhat less than coherent after preparing Helen's meal. I understand your reluctance, but... Oh, I just remembered. The kitchen security camera. It'll prove I'm telling the truth about everything. Constable Keene has access to the security footage in her office at the spaceport. If you visit her, you can figure out what truly happened with Helen's meal. Yes, but not specifically. Owens often procures exotic ingredients from the creatures at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Our guests can be rather... particular. Let's not talk about the incident with the Raptidon pheromone glands. It's always hard to say when Owens might be back. If I were you, I'd make a trek to the reserve myself. Otherwise, who knows how long you'll have to wait. Mr. Woolrich often finds the hotel's meals wanting. He seems to enjoy complaining in person. While I could appreciate someone with a discerning palate for once, I believe that Mr. Woolrich simply enjoys the attention he gets from us. Though don't tell him I said as much. If you wish to speak with him, Mr. Woolrich can most likely be found in his suite on the VIP guest floor. He's usually there if he's not poking around here. Thank you for your understanding, Inspector. I'm sure you'll find the true culprit before long.
Have you seen the profitability of...
Great work. It's done.
Nobody? Yeah, that's what I thought.
What floor would you like to... If you...
I could not have waited another instant for your Ask me anything at all. Oh, have you now? Please do go on. Don't leave me in suspense. Tampering? No, no, no. I just happened to be passing through the kitchen and saw a dish that looked good. If being hungry is a crime, you better indict 3/4 of Halcyon. What? That damned bellhop promised discretion. Well, if you must know, it's an appetite suppressant. How do you think I keep my form so lithe? Terror glands keep me from feeling hunger pangs. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a breach of my... No, I can't keep doing this. You've caught me. As it so happens, I may not have had the terror gland acquired for personal use. I may have placed it in Bellamy's meal. But before you indict me, please, just listen. I wasn't trying to kill her. Just listen to me, please. She would have had to eat 6 or 7 of the glands to die, and even then it would be an extended, arduous process. I was just getting to that. I only wanted her to be incapacitated during the Brown unveiling. With her out of commission, the next available celebrity, myself, would get to host the unveiling. Please think twice about telling the administrator of my misdeeds. If he learns the truth, what's left of my career will be left in shambles. What will happen when all of the great actors are gone, Inspector? Who will replace us? No one. That's who. There will be nothing on the aether waves but serials starring mechanicals. I hope it's worth it.
What floor would you like to visit?
This is Silvio Tran, setting a new record for the Grand Colonial Bellhops Laundry Cart League. If you're listening to this, you're listening to history. And Daltrey, as we agreed, when I win, you're scraping terrorist shit off the windows for the rest of your contract. And you can stow the fear of heights routine, because there's no way you're weaseling out of that, pal. Here goes. That's... Move the box! No, not... No!
Nice. We heading inside, Captain? Don't worry. I got your back.
Excuse me, Gunther. I need to ask you something.
Who in the hell is Gunter? I told you to call me Hunter. Come on.
Oh, right. Hunter, have you seen a little mechanical wandering through here? Might have been wearing my hat?
I can't say I have. I can sell you a new hat if you want. Or some fine, legally obtained hunting supplies. You could go get that mechanical thief yourself.
She's not a thief. She's lost. I just want her back. Oh, hey there, stranger. Don't mean to interrupt your business, but have you seen a stray mechanical wandering about? 3 legs, conical body, wearing a worker's hat, woefully unsuited for combat. Well, normally I'd be inclined to disagree with you. Betty's a big girl and can steer clear of danger, but it's been a little too long. Seems I'm running my mouth too much. My mechanical Betty up and wandered away a couple days back. I've been trying to track her, but the beasts make it hard. Personally, I prefer my organs inside my body. The shopkeep says I should buy one of his rifles and go looking myself, but like my machine, I'm not combat inclined.
We can help her out, right? Won't take too long if we're on the job.
I know it's a pain, but I think I need some outside help. Job or no job, I'm not leaving Betty out in the wastes. Betty's just your standard tripod mechanical, though she probably is still wearing my hat. Without it, she seems kind of naked. Her main purpose is cacao milking, but the only cacaos in the reserve are close. Without a directive, she shouldn't have had reason to wander away from the milking area.
Oh, So that's how they make zero-G brew.
Gonna need to find Betty in the first place before anything can or can't happen with what she's milked. Hey, thanks so much. It would have been mighty lonely without her. Being unemployed, I mean. Be lonely being unemployed. If you find Betty, try sneaking up and hacking her. If you can't do that, finding a way to stop her current routines should send her back home.
Welcome to Hunter Legal's Legal Hunter Supplies. I am Hunter Legal. How might I help you today? Hunter Supplies. Welcome back. What can I do you for? Unusual. This whole land complex is a failed wildlife exhibition turned hunting reserve. You can't go 10 feet without stepping in unusual. But I reckon you're asking about people unusual. I'd go have a chat with the prophet of profitability. Maybe she can intuit you in the right direction or something. But she is mighty far in the depths of the reserve. Perhaps you should purchase one of my fine armaments for the journey. Where better to sell hunter supplies than in the depths of the wilds, surrounded by creatures that are just waiting to devour you. I've got an excuse, but the Prophet and her retreat don't. And they're even farther out. Prophet said I should gift her some rifles to improve my aura or something. I told her what she could do with her aura. Haven't spoken to her since. But you look like you're smart enough to not make the decision that she'll invariably regret.
No cacaos detected nearby.
Incoming!
Yeah! Now,
No cacaos detected nearby. Returning to slug maintenance.
Commander, you ever wonder why they put lights on our armor?
No, Trooper.
What about these tubes poking out everywhere?
No. Trooper, stop asking stupid questions.
Sorry, Commander.
We're all part of the Rizzo's family.
Take him down!
Mess with us!
Hey, I almost can't believe it. Betty found her way back. Here I was thinking I'd never see her again. Oh, Betty, you big goof. What were you thinking in that little metal noggin of yours? You nearly worried me to death. And ain't you just the most reliable freelancer in the colony? Let me just take a look at Betty here and we'll talk about payment. Yep, that's right. Her parameters for movement and target acquisition are a mess. I'll bring her back to the garage and get her sorted out. Since Betty's back safe and sound, I'll be sure to let my coworkers know that you're a good one. Here's some money for your effort. Least I can do to show my thanks. I won't.
Sorry, but we're a little busy right now. I'm sure one of the other guys would be happy to give you a tour.
Lawrence, do you know who you're talking to? We always have time for the inspector.
The inspector? That's you? I am so sorry. We didn't know what we were doing. We're so sorry. It'll never happen again. No, Law. It's all over. I told you someone would catch on sooner or later, Belle.
Lawrence, let me do the talking here. Inspector, pay him no mind. I'm sure you've bigger saltuna to can than us.
Normally, yes, but we take guests out on live-action wilderness experiences for additional pay. You know, shoot a raft here, walk there. We're just between tours right now. Buying? We're not selling anything. Especially since we're between tours.
Don't pay him any mind, Inspector. His upper story's a little gap-toothed, if you know what I mean. But seeing as you insist on sticking your... That is, since you're so curious, I'll fill you in on what we're doing. We, misplaced some people on our last tour. Misplaced them in the maws of some local predators. Now we're stuck here wondering how to get their room keys. Hey, we all got our priorities. Not worrying about those keys ain't gonna bring their owners back from the dead. Anyway, the sooner we get those keys back, the sooner we can make it look like the ex-guests checked out early. Here's one. We ain't done nothing illegal. The guests signed the proper waivers to come out here. Still, it'd be a pain for Slug if we don't make it look like they checked out too. Byzantines aren't always put off by paperwork alone, sadly.
We knew sooner or later this was gonna happen. We've got some hush money tucked away. If you can get those keys for us, it's all yours. Did I just hear that right? The inspector is going to help us, Bill! Thank the stars!
We're not out of the woods yet. Let's just see what happens before we celebrate. We last saw the guests deeper in the wilderness, Inspector. That'd be a good place to look.
Peace? Waiting for this! Everybody's hurt! Why ain't working? You can get through! That's the last of him!
Caliban the Heartless. Wish I'd thought of that. Would have made a nice pirate name.
Useless! Move up!
I don't know what it is you're looking for, stranger, but I reckon you better get. I've had about enough of you and your ilk coming by with your searching questions and expectant looks. I know you with those void-damned hunters, and I know what you want. Well, you ain't getting it. No, please. Don't insult my dang intellect, stranger. Nobody ever visits just because they want to gab with old Cyrus. No, they either want to poach me out of my land or poach me out of my best friend. Ha! No, Kelly ain't no toss-baller, though. I reckon she could put the toughest players to shame. It's good having someone like that around. She ain't the brightest bulb, but... can't say I'd have much reason sticking it out in this wilderness without her. Damn straight there are. Wish I could go show 'em what for, but... I'm old. And I gotta make sure I don't get Callie into no trouble. Two of us have lived on the reserve for years. Every so often, someone comes by trying to steal our land grant and evict us. We hold our own, but... it's mighty agitating. Really? Oh, that's great news. Cal! You hear that? We're finally getting some help!
Captain. Is that Primal trying to talk to us?
Hey, I think she likes you. Wouldn't expect a stranger to do an unsolicited kindness to a standoffish old man. You're something else. I suspect you'll find the hunters that have been after me beyond the hills on the other side of the river from here. See if you can convince them not to poke around here. All right? Shoot. A lot better than spending your days with the Caner, that's for certain. I'm happy out here, and I think Callie is too. Ain't that right, Callie? Oh, quite a few years at this point. It'd be since a couple years before the Rizzo's Slug Complex ownership switch. And after that... well, I ain't sure. It's been a while. And for the most part, it's on the quiet side. Just not when those damn hunters are out and about.
You don't look like one of my hunters. What are you doing here? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. What's your business with him? Or with me? Certainly, I pay better. Oh, you void-damned sprat fuck. To arms, everybody. The old man's trying to scratch us off.
It's over.
Waste of company ammo.
keeping quiet, Cap.
I'm getting the 50 sweats.
Oh, you...
You picked the wrong...
Here I go!
Poor buddy!
Back, I see. You come bringing good news? Ah! Oh, me almighty, you know how to bolster an old man's spirits. Oh, thank you kindly, stranger. Oh, you're right, Cal. How could I forget? Oh, here's a reward for your trouble.
for Felix. What's up, boss?
You're the adjutant's favorite gun, right? Wow. How'd they convince you to help us out?
That's the last of him.
That was fun!
Here we go!
We made it!
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Identifying human footprints leading out into the wilderness. It is unusual for productivity disciples to wander more than a few feet from the camp. Scanning. Checking database of shoe sizes and height-weight ratios. Judging by footprint depressions and shoe size, these prints were either made by the Prophet of Profitability or Adjutant Sophia Akande. Error. Recalibrating. These footprints were made by the Prophet of Profitability.
Captain, what is this place and why is everybody acting so strange? Oh, law. They ain't cannibals, right?
Hello, welcome to the Prophet of Profitability's Private Prosperity Retreat. Stay positive, and soon all your humors will be balanced. Least, that's what I keep telling myself. Anyway, I'm Aaliyah Mason. I work as the Prophet's right-hand woman. What can I do for you? If you felt imbalanced and unproductive, linger in your malaise no longer. We have all the amenities and practices for calming the ill humors strangling your potential. Sit for hours in our sweat house and sweat them out, or stand amidst burning coals and feel your productive inhibitions burn away. And remember, think positive. Positivity equals productivity equals profitability. Of course, I've been studying under her for years. I know each of her techniques more or less by heart, and even have some variations of my own, such as the quintuple daily stomach purges. She's promised me that I'd be allowed to open my own branch of the retreat someday soon. Of course, I've been waiting on someday soon for coming up on 4 years now. I'm sure it's gonna happen anytime now. Oh, terribly sorry if I gave you that impression. I had a cramp. It's better now. I mean, it might be nice if I had a little inclination of whether the Prophet appreciated all the cooking and cleaning and hours of meditation I do on a daily basis. But whatever she thinks isn't for me to question. I'll do my best to be more chipper. Oh my. Yes, this is important enough for me to delay my bi-hourly self-flagellation. Ask away. Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet's fears were. I'm actually not entirely certain. It was a surreptitious visit that stood out because it was surreptitious. Whoever it was must have paid the Prophet quite a lot to keep things quiet. At least that's the only reason I can think of for intentionally keeping things so hush-hush. Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day. I was here at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. I rarely have more than a few minutes of alone time. Which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet, who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice. Certainly. Actually, before you go, I want to report something suspicious. I noticed the Prophet dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally, I'm the one who does her laundry, so it was strange. Especially because whatever she was dragging seemed oddly human-shaped. I think so. Had the right size and shape. I could have, but I generally don't have the time or energy to leave the reserve to contact anyone. Plus, there's always the possibility that I'm mistaken. The Prophet hasn't been herself lately, but if I misinterpreted the situation and reported her improperly, I'd ruin my chances for opening my own wing of the retreat.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis suggests this to be a variety of herbs. Herbs have been uniformly treated with a pungent chemical mix. Warning: ingesting, smoking, or inserting non-corporation sanctioned substances into your ears may be harmful to your health. Analyzing. Complete. Substance appears to be a mix of industrial solvents and various essential oils. Substances include woolly cow dander remover, sprat oil, and starship surface wax. Prior analysis suggests these herbs reach peak effectiveness when users burn them and inhale the resulting smoke. Whether or not this increased effectiveness is good for an afflicted individual has yet to be determined.
Fruitful and productive welcome, brother. I had a feeling you would visit me. I offer a wide variety of productivity seminars. I hope you'll consider taking one. But I should remember my manners. To what do I owe the pleasure of the Special Inspector's arrival? Certainly, certainly. But first, I'd love to interest you in one of my productivity seminars. We'll free you of those potential hampering humors in a heartbeat. Absolutely not. Any statements by Ms. Helen about us were blown out of proportion and altered by the media. In fact, she quite recently... excuse me. I seem to be remembering something that never happened. Whatever the case, I'm sure her speech about us was all a misunderstanding. With that said, I'd love to involve you in one of my productivity seminars. We should clear you of all those nasty, nasty humors hampering your potential. Yes, I understand the pressure of one's employment all too well. We've lately been looking into more ways to bolster the retreat stock of bits. But you needn't worry about how this little conversation is affecting my livelihood, brother. Please, take your time. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, brother. How might I assist? I'm pleased that you noticed. Excellent eye, brother. The compound they're treated with is my own invention, designed to unlock an individual's true productive potential when burned. I can't say any more. Trade secrets, you know. None of my clients have ever complained, so I'm sure they're perfectly safe. Is there anything else? Who said that? I'll be sure to give them a special seminar on not needlessly implicating the person who puts food on their table. It was a bundle of clothing, brother. Even productivity geniuses need to do laundry from time to time. Yes. I suppose the more quickly we get off this subject, the better. I had a visitor, yes, but as it turned out, some of my productivity techniques were too much for them. I had to drag them out by hand. But their peers came and collected them shortly thereafter. I'm sure whichever attendee it was is perfectly safe now. Oh? I'm surprised. I wouldn't think the two of us would have much to discuss about her. We may have had some terse interactions before her death, which I most certainly regret. But beyond those, well, never mind. What would you care to know? I wouldn't necessarily say that. The media tends to exaggerate. I will admit that her remarks about my seminars were rather unfortunate. However, I certainly wouldn't sharpen any sabers over it, if that's what you mean to imply. I only do that when my clients skimp on their bills. I did not. She had no interest in my seminars, and I had no interest in attempting to convert a stubborn actress. Why would I have had any cause to engage with her further? Why, I've been at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve for quite some time now, as my disciples can attest. In fact, I haven't visited the Colonials since I arrived several weeks ago. Bad energies, you understand. I hope you now realize that I had nothing to do with Helen's demise.
prophet says to purge the mind of truth, that her truth is the only truth. Facts serve no purpose.
Wow, you got that?
By imagining wealth, I can evoke prosperity out of the universe.
These were the best!
Clever.
Looks like we're doing this!
Wonder what Junlei up to.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Here we go! We're the best there ever was.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Judging by the shape of this indentation in the dirt, a person of medium height and build laid here for a number of hours, scanning for other details. Only additional signs of disturbance are a few marks in the dirt. Agreed. Likely theory. Individual injured was unconscious, not dead, and walked away after awakening. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Detected additional tracks belonging to the Prophet of Profitability. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Welcome back, brother. I'm delighted to extend my desire to aid you, brother. How might I assist? Yes, that's correct. She made it clear that my seminars were of no interest to her. Well, I suppose that does complicate things. Whatever the case, I didn't care to mention Helen's change in decision because she never showed up. I don't see how it matters. Oh, really? What did you find there? What did I dump? Clever work, Inspector. It seems even I can't slide my way out of the trap you've so intricately weaved. I admit it. I killed Helen. By mistake. Helen changed her mind and wanted to attend one of my sessions. I, knowing the importance of the seminar, desired to truly galvanize her, though not to stop her heart. So when it came time, I chose to double Helen's dosage of productivity-enhancing herbs. I left her to meditate, and when I returned, she was dead. After that, I entered a less than coherent state. One of my disciples, it seems, witnessed me as I dragged Helen's body out into the wilderness. Laws, no. I hate guns. If I ever wanted to kill someone on purpose, I would have used a blunt weapon. Nothing quite like clubbing someone over the head. Do you jest? The guests at the Colonial eat no shortage of strange things, but I think corpses are perhaps too strange. The creatures of the wilderness are much less picky. Besides, the hotel is ridiculously far. I couldn't have made it all that way without someone realizing I was dragging a corpse. I'm no medical professional, but that certainly seemed the case. Usually my customers at least writhe or mumble after a session. My productivity-enhancing herbs typically do induce sluggishness, but I suppose they must have been enough to do her in if her constitution was truly that weak. What? Is this some kind of joke? You're an inspector. It's your job to arrest me, isn't it? No. Someone must have moved it after I killed her. One of my business rivals, waiting for me to fall into a false sense of security so they can strike. I don't believe you. I think this is all a trick. You're trying to catch me in a lie. Get me to reveal my productivity secrets. No. You can't trick me. I finally discovered what's happening. You've been paid off. Someone else learned that I killed Helen and is going to use that information to blackmail me. You think I'm going to let this injustice happen? Ha! Tell the constable that I killed Helen. It's 1,000 times less miserable than whatever my enemies have planned. Yes. One step ahead as always, shadowy corporate figures. You'll never get my secrets. Never. Ah, the sweet safety of imprisonment. I'll no longer have to put up with them.
She said I must burn. That's the last of him!
Oh, hey!
Here they come!
Hey there. You find us those keys? That's all of them. You're a lifesaver and a half, Inspector. Lawrence, you got the bits?
Let's see, which pocket did I... Oh, they're in my hand. Here you are, Inspector. We'll make sure to put in a good word with our friends, too. I can't wait to put this behind us. We'll wait here a little longer, and start clearing out their rooms when the shift changes. Not sure what we'll do with their belongings.
Lawrence, we talked about this, remember? What belongings? Anyhow, thanks again, Inspector. Good luck with your investigation.
I suppose you'll be moving on, then.
I'll be out of here as soon as I can, Gunther.
Welcome back. Hunters...
What floor would you... Next.
Inspector, I've just received word that Constable Keene is dead. Please tell me it isn't true. Halcyon Helen, Leora Blossom, Maria Keene. There's a murderer on the loose, Inspector. You must stop them. I don't have Maria to count on anymore, so I'm counting on you. The Needler was among Helen's belongings. Whoever stole it must have been able to slip in and out of the hotel. Maria was my sole representative in Cedric's territory. The entire hotel staff is on his payroll. Any one of them could have killed her on his behalf. Maria devoted her entire life to our vision. She was absolutely committed to our company, to our project. I promised myself I'd reward her after we launched Spectrum Brown. I'd make sure she was comfortable for the rest of her life. She was also our voice of reason. She was sensible, and I appreciated her advice. I never got to tell her that. Make them suffer, Inspector. I'm pleased to hear that. Bertie Holcomb is a valuable asset to the Rizzo's Rangers property. When Helen was murdered, Bertie was nowhere to be found. The timing of his disappearance is unfortunate. That's ominous. Ah, Bertie Holcomb. How have you gone and complicated my life this time? I do wish Bertie wouldn't take refuge in the glass bottle every time something goes wrong in his life. If Bertie was drunk on the night of Helen's murder, then you're right. He has no alibi. Be plain with me, Inspector. Do you believe Black Hole Bertie killed Helen? Understood. I appreciate your candor. I'd like you to continue your investigation. Notify me as soon as you're ready to make a formal accusation. You may be right. I'll prepare a writ of arrest. Keeping Bertie in a cell might spare this company a few thousand bits in repair work. I'll make my report of your investigation into Bertie. Do you have anything else for me? Excellent. I trust you have a name for our poisoner. Oh, I am disappointed. I'd always believed Mr. Woolrich a man of high character. It pains me to order the arrest and detention of someone I admired. I'd like you to continue investigating Helen's murder. You've found the poisoner, but her killer remains at large. Closely, I trust. Tell me what you found. Of course he's got an alibi. He runs Sublight Underground. He probably starts his day by preparing half a dozen alibis. With that in mind, do you think Cedric was responsible for Helen's death? Fair enough, Inspector. I won't try to influence your judgment any more than I already have. Unfortunately, even I don't have the authority to detain Cedric. His line of work is dangerous, though. There's always a chance for an accident. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've already lost Dr. Blossom and Constable Keene, but at least Cedric's alive. The universe is a just place. Ms. Leyva earned that title, but not for the reasons you'd expect. The profit business has been profitable for the hotel. Not so much for Ms. Leyva's followers. So, tell me, what did you find? Ms. Leyva's techniques have no basis in modern science, but she makes bits hand over fist. If that makes her a fraud, then she's only as fraudulent as our corporate leaders. Does the Prophet strike you as a reasonable candidate for Helen's murderer? Arresting the Prophet could spell the end of her career. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Thank you for the update, Inspector. I'll include everything you've told me in my official report. I've been waiting for this. Tell me, Inspector, who killed Halcyon Helm? I beg your pardon. You think I killed Halcyon Helen? That's absurd. What do you think this is? Some two-bit crime drama where the villain gives himself away in the opening act? I expect you to deliver the name of Helen's killer. I expect you to deliver results, Inspector. And if you can't withstand the pressure, then I expect you to resign. We're done. Your services are no longer necessary. I'm defensive, Inspector, because I'm under attack. I am assaulted by your perfidious and baseless accusations. You're convinced I murdered Halcyon Helen. Fine. Show me some evidence. Are you insane, or do you take me for a fool? No, I'm not going to wait. You had your chance. Wait, don't move a muscle. Someone's just tripped my alarm. And my security defenses. And killed my patrols. The distillery is under attack. Someone's after me, Inspector. I need you over here right now. Forget what I said. I'm renewing your contract as of this moment. Damn it, someone's interfering with my transmission. Can you read the...
Whoever the real killer is, I got a feeling they're going after Mr. Ludovico. We need to catch up to him. Fast.
I guess, if we have to. Getting kind of tired of kicking my heels up in the penthouse all day.
All right. I got nothing going on.
We should definitely go. As for helping him, maybe we take the wait-and-see approach?
From the depths of Terra 2 to the heights of Eridanos, there's no mess that your SAM unit can't unstick, unclog, or unsully.
Think of this as an opportunity to teach Mr. Ludovico the importance of compassion.